Welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat Podcast, y'all. I am your host, Jojo.
And I'm Dayra.
Ooh, don't be a hater because you don't got my glasses on. For those of you who see me. And those of you who don't, it's because you fucking don't. And that's on period. Go ahead, babe, because I know you want to say something.
We got them from Amazon. They're mine, but we got them from Amazon.
She couldn't wait to tell you that. She couldn't wait to say that.
Jojo has an obsession with sunglasses. I think I do too, but it's like I like that specific brand.
Yeah.
Desi.
She's a Desi girl.
I've been following Desi for years now. She's like a makeup guru, but now she's like really more into her family, but whatever. You know what I love about you?
About me?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Wow, I'm not ready.
She'll know how to act.
I wasn't ready for that. Oh, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Shut up. You're a liar.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
So you don't rush me.
Like to get ready? Like when we're...
Yeah.
Girl, you should hear me in the other rooms.
What'd you be saying?
I'll be like, this motherfucker, she ain't ready yet. She ain't started her hair yet. Hold up. She on the computer. She watching the podcast. Forget it.
I don't take long to get ready. I just get distracted, and then next thing you know, I'm doing other things online.
Yeah.
As I'm trying to do my hair.
And then you try to make me distract myself by telling me to go make us some boba tea.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, I think like even though, well, one, because I'm not a person who likes to be rushed, so I do my best to like shut the fuck up and wait. But at the same time, I think sometimes I actually be hoping that you just be like, fuck it, I don't want to do it.
Oh.
Not that like I don't want to record or anything, but I feel like, once it starts getting later in the day,
yeah,
I'm just like, man, like even though we don't got shit to do,
yeah,
I'm just like, bruh.
There's
like,
something about once the sun goes down, it's like we're done.
Yeah,
like the day is over. We can't do nothing else.
I'm over this.
But no, the sun's still up.
Yeah, but we're like on the cusp.
But you don't rush me even when we have things to do, like when we have places to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty prompt, but I'm not like prompt. Like usually I'm like
15, yeah, but you have a sense of awareness with time.
Yeah.
So I think I don't have to tell you need to get ready, even though you need some time to get ready. Like if we're finna do something, I'm always done and ready before her, and she'll be sitting down and still doing her face. And it's crazy because she doesn't have like this huge makeup routine. So I really, because in all actuality, I really be mad confused to why it does take you so long, because it didn't even take you that long to do your hair, and I be thinking like that's a process all on its own because she has so much hair. But you just be banging it out. But then once I see all the screenplays on, I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go sit down. It's just that I get
distracted. And then my family be texting me, and then they're like, oh, look up this flight, and then I'm like, oh, let me look up this flight.
Yeah, while you was looking that shit up, I'm just like, now? You're doing it right now. That's not for another 8 months.
I know. But I feel like, in this case, it was like, we got to do this because my family's so last minute with like vacations that it was like, if they're hyped about it, I'm like, oh, okay, let me tell you how much it is. Right. Let's book right now. Huh?
They're so dirty.
Oh, you're done with them?
Yeah, I wanted to keep them on, but I feel like I'm seeing spots.
Yeah. All right, anyways. Back to scheduled programming.
Back to life. Back to
what are we going to talk about today?
We want to get into the good shit. And when I say the good shit, I mean like the good things about people, right? We did a episode a while ago. And when I say a while ago, I mean like, what was that? Like episode 3, 4. Shout out to Jasmine, because that's who we did it with. If there's anybody who knows about red flags and toxic traits, it's definitely you and Jasmine. Anyway, so we did one a while ago. If you haven't seen it, take your ass back to the beginning, get you a recap. We went over red flags, as I said. Today, we want to talk about green flags, y'all. I feel like it's very easy for us to get caught up in a lot of the negativity that we encounter in life and with people that we actually don't even take the time to show gratitude and like pull out the better parts of people.
Yeah.
So here we are with the green flags. So for those of you who really don't have an idea of what green flags are, I wrote a little something here that kind of just gives it a quick definition because I knew I was going to forget. Obviously, we know what it is to us. Everybody has their, interpretation, just like with everything else. Anyway, so we know that the red flags tell us when it's time for things to just be dead smack over. Our green flags are positive signals that a relationship will make it through the long haul. Green flags demonstrate someone's character, openness, values, and more. Knowing some of the most common red and green flags allows you to be more confident that you're heading in the right direction and taking the steps to strengthen your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good shit right there. I agree.
Mm-hmm. So you want me to go first?
Yeah,
with
go
green
for
flags? Someone who isn't afraid to apologize,
it.
to
Okay.
say when they're wrong in a situation.
Okay.
I think that's a green flag, but I think with that comes maturity and like emotional intelligence. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I lacked that in many of my previous relationships and even friendships, where it was like my ego literally would not allow me to be like, I'm sorry. And like I feel like you gotta, even when you apologize, you have to make sure that you're saying it in a way that isn't like makes sense. Like when people say, "Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way," I think that's like, oh, that's not like the best way to like apologize to people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you say, "I'm sorry I made you feel that way," because it's like now you're putting it kind of like on yourself, if that makes sense.
Huh?
There's a difference between "I'm sorry you feel that way" and "I'm
Yeah.
sorry that I made you feel that way,"
Uh-huh.
because you're putting the blame on yourself
Uh-huh.
and not on the person.
Do you feel like you got it down to a science where
Not
you can
yet.
accept and apologize?
I mean, I don't think I have it down to a science, but I think I've done it. You don't think I have?
I don't know. I can take that.
No, because
Apology
you look.
for what?
I mean, what do I do?
That's see. That's I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
No, but that ass.
Or I'm sorry you feel that way. My bad.
Mhm.
For me, I feel like family connection. A green flag for me is when someone is close to their family. I don't need you to be like butt tight with your family where it's like you drop everything. Well, I mean, it's okay if you drop everything, but just have that good sense
Yeah.
of like, family connection because I feel
Right.
like I've dated people who don't have the best home or family background. And sometimes I feel like it kind of pulls you away from your own family to an extent because it's like, it's it I feel like it's a half a half. Like it robs you both ways in a sense from my experience because it's like you want to share your family with the person that you're dating.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow to them it still manages to not be enough. But it's also like you don't want to rub in their face how you have this good family relationship either.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's kind of a hard position to be put in. But again, I've dated people who didn't have that great connection with their family.
Mm-hmm.
And it honestly makes it hard.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it hard because it's just like those people want still they can say they hate their family and in the same breath cry about how they want the attention of their family. And I just feel like no matter what I did to try to mend that connection, whether it was bringing them into my family or trying to keep a positive like vibe or be like the buffer when coming around that partner's family, it's still just never managed to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just one of my green flags is someone who has like a good connection with their family.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I feel like me and my family have a very close bond, so I would want someone to also have that bond with their family. But then at the same time, I think to myself, can you really put that like can you put that against them though, like the fact that they don't have a good relationship with their family? Because most of the time it's because their family is shitty. Like it's
Yeah.
not their fault that their family is shitty. I think what's important is that they find those people who could be like family,
Yeah.
and they kind of have done that inner work. They're not obviously going to be healed from it ever, and they're not gonna be this super happy person during the holidays, but I feel like if they can kind of show that they are working on it, then I can't put that past them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've dated a lot of people where they didn't have good relationships with their family, and I would just invite them to my family, like for
Right.
like holidays, like Christmas and like Thanksgiving and things like that. Um, they would just always come to our events.
And I love that. Like I'm always like open with sharing, you know, my family.
Mm-hmm.
Um especially even like with friends who don't have that sense of family. Like we we make our own family as well
Mm-hmm.
outside of our actual family relations, but I just think, in not saying that I couldn't date anyone who didn't have the strongest family bond,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a sense of that from what I experienced and the people I did dated, it was just like no matter how much I was giving them access to my family, it's almost like it still wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like you said, I do think like if it's something that they, you know, are aware of and working on and it's just a, you know, then that makes sense. Like I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it just hadn't been the greatest experience.
Yeah.
That's all.
Right.
All right. So what's your next one?
My next one is, I'm gonna relate it to being LGBTQ, obviously, but someone who doesn't rush you to come out,
Mm-hmm.
which I also feel could be like a little problematic. Like if you've been dating someone who's like been in the closet for like 3 years, it's like, all right, girl, like this shit is getting old. Like when are you gonna come out? So I feel like you can't rush them, but at the same time, you can't wait forever.
Yeah, but what is all out for you? You know?
Out to the people who they care about the most. It doesn't have to be your whole family or anything like that, but like if you're close to like your siblings, I would hope at least your siblings know. If you're close to if you have best friends, I would hope your friends to know, you know.
So would it count for you if it's like just the people that they're like what's the word I'm looking for? That's just kind of around them daily or like involved in their life daily?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like if I want to post a picture of you, then I want to post a picture of you. So what? So what now? So what do we do?
Right.
Not saying that social media is everything, but at the same time, it's like, are we gonna? Because if you think about it, you're kind of also hiding in the closet in a sense, because it's like you can't post your person because they don't want you to post it. So it's like you're kind of hiding the person that you love and your sexuality. You could repost all these gay stuff and all these gay quotes. That don't mean shit if you can't post your person.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's good if they don't rush you, but at the same time, you also can't wait forever.
Yeah. I would just feel like it's always just a touchy conversation. It's hard because
Of
everybody's
course.
different.
Uh-huh.
And I also think like going into relationships or even dating a person, I would like to think that in the beginning we know one another's standpoint. And what I mean by saying that is if you knew the person that you got involved with was not out, you proceeded to grow and keep moving forward with that relation, knowing that they weren't out
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that they didn't really have a timeline or a certainty of when they would come out.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like while you're obviously being optimistic within the hope that it will happen
Right.
at some point within your relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be that mad that
Right.
it didn't.
Right. Like I feel like you said, it's like you knew what you were getting yourself into.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that this person wasn't out. You knew that before y'all was together, they were considered a streak or whatever the hell you want to call it. So it's like you can't be mad at that. You gotta really have patience with people who aren't out yet.
Yeah.
But like I said, you can't wait forever.
I was
We
like,
not waiting forever,
Other
though.
than having patience, though, I do think like that's where you set guidelines between one
Uh-huh.
another. Like, are you telling me this is gonna happen or whatever? But like, I just think like it's also that heads up where it's like if I'm not out, I'm gonna tell you I don't know when that time is gonna come. I don't know if it'll happen sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
But that is what it is.
Right.
If you're willing to proceed, then I feel like you should also have your own set of guidelines to where you tell me, well, that's fine, I'm okay with it now. But in the event that I feel like I'm not okay with it, like, you also have to understand that,
right,
you know, it's time for me to walk away.
mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like that's where those conversations kind of come in. But the coming out conversation is really hard. Yeah, it's really hard. I don't think. I mean, you weren't out when I started dating you, and I don't think I would have rushed you.
That's good.
Yeah.
When do you think you would have been like, all right, time's ticking?
I don't know that I would have. I think just the
Even
fact
though
that
we were
I
living
knew,
together, like,
I think that the fact that I knew your closest friends, like at least that they were aware, and you did post me. I mean, social media isn't a big deal to everybody, so I think there's still people who aren't officially out, but post on social media because they also have it private or don't have every single person that they're not out to on there, you know?
Yeah. You just gotta block everybody. Call it a day.
So I don't know if it would have came to a point where I'm just like, no, because also I've been on the flip side of a relationship where I wasn't officially out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like assumed to be out, and that was fine, whatever. Most people knew except for my mom. And like, you know, so I never really had that official coming out while I was in a relationship for the fucking 4 years. Mm-hmm. So I feel like knowing that, and it was a problem to the person, obviously, but like, the fuck. But I feel like knowing that, I think I would have given you your time and your space. Now, in terms of like me being around family, I don't know. I feel like that would have came eventually because I also think that you would want the same, knowing how much of a family person you are. Mm-hmm. I think you would have wanted the same opportunity as my family gives you. Yeah. You know, and having you around and creating those bonds and stuff. And that probably would have got me too eventually. Like, I see you creating bonds with my family. I want the opportunity with your family too. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, it would have all fell into place. Yeah. I didn't have like this expectation or like time frame for you to come out. Mm-hmm.
That's good. What's another green flag for you?
I have a shit ton, and I think a lot of I'm not gonna go through all of them, but I tried to
go through a couple.
I tried to like check the most important ones for me, I guess. So I'm gonna do my best. It's really small, I can't see it. There, I think another green flag is like a person's ability to be vulnerable, like to have vulnerable conversations.
You know who can't be vulnerable?
Who?
Z.
Who the fuck is that?
From The Perfect Match.
Oh, Zay?
Zay.
Wow.
Zay.
Listen, vulnerability isn't for everybody. I get it.
He's the same guy that dated the bi girl from The Ultimatum. Mm-hmm. If y'all watch these Netflix shows. Continue.
I hate these fucking shows. But anyway.
I hate them too.
That's besides the point. So yeah, people's like inability to have those vulnerable conversations. I feel like in the beginning, it's very surface level, cool. You're just trying to get a sense of somebody. But at some point, like, I'm the type of person who wants to sit in the car with like Wendy's and by the water somewhere, blasting some music, but then like, you know, having thoughtful and deep conversations, like, you know, things that we fear, things that we want to become. What is it that we don't like? You know, how did we grow up? Like, what were some of the differences? What were the ways we have, like, things that we have in common? Like, I don't know. I'm just like a very personal person, and I like to create those personal bonds. Yeah, that's not surface level, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So, I hate surface level conversations. I hate small talk. Like, I feel like I'd rather sit here in silence if we're gonna do the small talk. Honestly,
I just don't know. Like, people really fear the.
But you know what it is? You know what I realized? I realized that when you share your experiences, your stories, and you are vulnerable, then they feel more comfortable to do so. Yeah. So I used to work with students, and I had to have one-on-ones with them. And sometimes it would be like awkward silences. So I'm like, all right, let me tell you some crazy story, like about some real shit that happened to me.
Right.
And then that opened up the conversation to where they would share things about them. And I'm not trying to manipulate anything, because at the end of the day, I am being truthful and I am being honest. But I think that if you're struggling with that with someone that you're dating, it's probably because they want you to start sharing first, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if it just doesn't happen, then maybe this ain't it, because you guys have to get into those conversations one day or another.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely won't want to put anybody in a position to where they feel like they have to. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I can also say that I'm pretty I don't give you everything at once, off the rip. I give you levels of my personal thoughts and feelings and stuff. I know how much I can give one person and how much not to give another person. But ultimately it doesn't stop me from sharing, I guess, so to say, or open up those conversations, because I don't know what it is, but I just feel like the older you get, it's just the more meaningful, or at least for me, like the more meaningful I want to make things. Like, I don't want foo-foo, you know, surface level, you know, temporary conversations or feelings. Like, I want things that mean something. I want to get lost in a conversation that is like, wow, like it made me think about something, or wow, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
I like meaningful things and conversations.
And I honestly hate when people can't have meaningful conversations unless they're on drugs or intoxicated. Like, you can't be like this sober. Nah, I can't. Like, I feel like, then who is the real you?
Yeah. Well, that also like scares me, because in the same breath, I feel like I'm also the person who can hold a lot of things back and I won't say everything.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I'm like in a place where I'm not feeling open,
Mm-hmm.
where I shutter myself. I hide a lot of shit. But I think like people who don't hear them say their own thoughts out loud, like I say a lot of shit up here. I feel a lot of shit in here. But I think that once we project it outside of our body, it's like, oh shit, it's real. And it's like what I'm supposed to do with that. I've never heard myself say that. Wow, that's crazy. Like all these
Mm-hmm.
things start happening, I don't know, but I think like even if you don't have it with somebody else, like we have to learn how to have it with ourselves at least.
Yeah.
And I think like once we start saying certain things out loud to ourselves, it's just like, oh wow, like I can hear myself saying that now, and it's just like I know,
Mm-hmm.
I can say this to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. Next.
To piggyback off of what I was saying about the intoxication, I think it's a green flag when you guys go on dates in the daytime, and dates where you don't have to be intoxicated. Like, it's like, I want to see the sunlight. Like, let's do something in the
I
daytime.
want to
Like,
see
let's
this
go to the park. Like, we don't always have to be out and drinking and taking shots and going to the bar. Like, I feel like it's important to see people in all different elements. And I definitely want to see somebody in their sober side.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like when you're out at night, it just brings like
Yeah.
that party vibe. You're just like, all right, that was cute. Now let's go get
But
lit.
it's like, realistically, when you're in a relationship, how many times are you out partying all the time? You're not doing that every weekend.
Right. Right.
I mean, I know we don't.
I mean, shit.
I
If
mean,
I
we
could, I
do. Yeah, but
would.
but that's not something that's like the regular for us. We're not
Mm-mm.
club promoters or anything like that,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think in the beginning it's like cool, but it's just also like you said, like let's do some regular shit,
Yeah.
daytime activities.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Um, Another green flag for me is someone who is secure about themselves. And when I say secure, I'm not saying like overly confident, full of their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
None of that.
Cocky. Cocky
Yeah,
girl.
yeah, none of that cocky shit.
Uh-huh.
but just like secure in the person that they are. Like, granted, we all have insecurities. I was just literally having this conversation with her a little bit ago, and I am definitely a person who has insecurities, whether it's, my hair, like within the way that I look, my body or whatever, or the way that sometimes I communicate. I tell her sometimes, like, yo, I don't even be knowing, like, I don't know how I'm on a podcast because sometimes I feel like I have a hard time articulating myself and people don't understand me.
Same.
Yeah. So, like, there's so many things that I'm insecure about, but I don't allow it to uh like consume me. And I feel like I only say that because I see a lot of people who are not like, and it's crazy because I was telling her this too, is that a lot of beautiful people at that have like so much insecurity about themselves, and they allow it to consume them, and they create this version of themselves that they don't even recognize because they're just not comfortable with themselves.
Yeah.
And I think we just have to be realistic. Like, everybody's different. We all have insecurities. Not one single person is perfect.
Give an example of how it consumes them.
Like, I just feel like people will be like, oh, I don't want to wear a bathing suit because I don't feel comfortable, or oh, I don't wear this. Now this is physical examples, like, oh, I won't wear that outfit because I just feel like it won't look good on me. Oh, like, people don't like me. I don't know. Like, most times it's kind of physical more than it is.
I think I would say I don't know
internal.
about those examples because there's times where I'm like, yeah, I'm not wearing that. Yep, not wearing that bathing suit. But it doesn't consume me to the point where it's like I'm not going. I'm still gonna go.
Right. But that's
with
what I'm
a
saying.
cover up.
There's people who won't be like, I won't wear that at all. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna be covered from head to toe, or, which is fine, whatever. If that's where you're comfortable, at least you're going. But there are people who just like, I don't like the way anything looks on me. I'm not going
like,
out.
I'm not going out.
I don't have, like,
I have had friends who have done that shit, and I'm like, are you serious right now? What do you mean? What do you mean? No, girl, like, find something in your closet, even if you've worn it before, and we're going out. Like, you're really not gonna go out because you don't have a new outfit.
Yeah. I feel like it's very big within the female culture that we're like,
I think
I
it's
don't
more
wanna.
straight girls, honestly, like
Yeah.
heterosexual. Like,
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but yeah,
they really be like,
mostly.
I'm not going anywhere. I got nothing to wear. Like, girl,
All because you worried about a dude peeping you. Like, they don't
I
give
honestly
a
don't know
fuck because
what they
they
be
don't
worried
even
about.
know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if guys were girls, in all actuality, if guys had to be the, for their day, they'd be like, yo, props. Like, you're popping the way you are because this preparation y'all
Yeah.
go through and all this, like, but yeah, I think a sense of security. Like, we all have our insecurities, whether it's the way we talk, the way we think, our family background, the home we come from. Like, I remember you always saying, like, you didn't like people coming to your house, to your parents' house, picking you up. Like, that's a sense of insecurity, but it didn't stop you from meeting people. It didn't stop you from going out or allowing people to come and get you, things like that. So that's just one of the things, like, I feel is like, don't allow it to consume you, still do your thing. You gotta, it's like, you can't let the things you hate stop you, because then how do you find the things that you love to keep you going?
Yeah.
That's just me. Go ahead. Oh, you take the floor.
The one that I had was, so we had an episode before with Kea Lohilani, episode 40, and basically she talked about how girls had a problem when she would switch up between feminine and masculine. And I feel like a green flag is when they let you be yourself, regardless of what that is. So if you want to be mass today, cool. If you want to be femme the next day, cool. Like, you're still the same person. All that's changed is your clothing and makeup and hair, but you're still the same person. So I feel like when someone is secure in themselves and doesn't really care, I get that people have preferences, but I feel like sometimes, like, for people like Kehalohilani, it limits who they can date. Because it's like, oh well, they only like mask
Shit,
girls.
you telling
I'm
me?
just like, I'm like confused. I'm like, girl, how you even be dating then? Because it's like, if people have this thing where they're like, you can only be femme or you can only be masked, and you can never be yourself.
Yeah, and I think that was a big thing for me for a long time.
Wow.
It's like that sense of like, I can't be this way or I had to be this way. And that shit's annoying. That shit's like super restraining and restrictive, and I don't like that idea. Like you always say, oh, like you don't even show your femme side, and it's not because I don't want to. It's not because I'm not comfortable to. I just like, this is my natural comfortable state.
Yeah.
And I will pop out on you hoes and slay real quick. That's no problem. You see me do it, I have no problem doing it. But yeah, people like to be like,
Right. And it's to the point where it's like, if you date someone that has that mentality, then it's like, if you guys ever get married and like they want, like, I don't know, it's like, can you be yourself? If you want to wear a dress, can you wear a dress? Or are they gonna be like, no, you can't wear that?
Yeah.
Or if they're like, I want to wear a suit, it's just like, that gets tricky, because it's like, that's a very important date. And if you can't be yourself on your wedding day because your partner has a problem with it, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mine. What happened?
All right. No, I really can't see. And I can't make the bitch bigger. So anyway. All right. So my next green flag is being the better person. And when I say being the better person, it's not what you think I mean. So I seen this show, which I love, Chicago Fire, right? And I seen this episode where it's this guy and this girl, they're dating. I guess they were having problems, and they're kind of like on the break, and he tells her, "You deserve someone better than me." We've all had that conversation where you think the next person deserves someone better than you because you can't fulfill what it is they're asking for, or vice versa. And he then proceeds to say, you deserve someone better than me. You deserve all the things that you're asking for. And I'm going to be that better person.
Oh.
Right?
Girl,
what show is that this? Shit, I was crying.
What show is this?
Chicago Fire.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I mean when I'm saying being the better person. Choosing to be the person that your person needs, like, I'm not saying you need to change yourself. Like, if you absolutely think that you can't do it, you're not capable of being that person, then by all means let that person go. But I think it's just so, like, I think it's the easy way out. Yeah. People aren't really pushing the limits to know whether or not they can be that person for the person that they're dating, that they rather just opt out. So I think, like, showing that sense of, like, care and, like, initiative and, like, pushing the limits of, like, I want to see if I could be that person actually. Yeah. So I think that was cute.
Very cute. Very cute. My other one is someone who's kind to the waiter. And I want to follow up with that, right? Because listen, there are times I've been on both sides. I used to work as a waitress. Like, I know what it's like. I used to literally go to the bathroom and cry sometimes because people were so rude. And I've had to, ask the waiter, like, oh, hey, we asked for something, we never got it, or like, this is the wrong order type shit. But I feel like there's ways to say things without being a bitch. Like, you don't have, like, even if they got your order wrong, even if they're taking a long time, I feel like you can address the situation without being an asshole about it. So I feel like someone who's kind of respectful, because it's like, it's not their fault. Most of the time, it's the kitchen's fault. And then the waiter's the one getting all the heat for it when they're the ones just trying to do their job. And even if they got the order wrong, bro, they're probably busy. They're probably booked. They probably have a lot of shit in their head. Like, you just never know, right? So I feel like when you're on a date with someone, just make sure to peep how they treat other people, because I think that says a lot. And I hate a mean girl. I
Yeah.
hate a Karen. I
It's
hate a
just
bitch.
distasteful. It's just
It's
not
just
cute.
tragic. It's not. Like, you could
It's
say that in a nicer way.
giving bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
Yeah.
much. Like, honestly, like, I remember I went on a trip with this friend. We went to Canada. And this was the first trip that we went on together. And honestly, I saw such a different side of her. And it, like, turned me off completely. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm never taking a trip with this girl again. She was honestly so rude to, like, the waiters. She would make them take shit back and then make them take it off the order. And it's like,
Couldn't
but
be
you
me.
ordered that and you didn't like it, so that's on you. Like, we had ordered the fries that they put like gravy on. I don't know what the fuck it's called. You know what I'm talking about? No, now I gotta look it up. Now I gotta look it up.
Fries with gravy, like cheese?
I don't know what the fuck. It's poutine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I told her, like, listen, I tasted it before. I wasn't crazy about it. So she wanted to order it. She ordered it. She didn't like it. Ate some of it and then told her to send it back. If she would have ate like one fry, then maybe. But the fact that you ate some of it and then you want to send it back and then you want to take it off the order, it's too embarrassing for me. I just be so embarrassed. Like, I just can't. Please God, get me the fuck out of here. But yeah, a green flag is someone who's kind to others.
Okay, I like that one because I'm really kind. I'm so nice to people.
She's so nice. She doesn't say anything at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta speak up though.
Now you trying to throw shit at me.
But like, I feel like I'm able to talk to them for you and be like, listen, this is not what we ordered. You know, like, you could say it in a playful way.
I can say it.
But I feel like it's like when you say it, sometimes it's like comes off mean.
I just can never win.
No, I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
That's why I shut the fuck up and let you say it. Like I said, all right, we don't want this. Okay, tell them. Tell them. All right. So another green flag for me, right? Okay, I did say that one. Cool. Respectful of your beliefs and your morals. You know, I think too many times we've all been in a position to where we're telling people they're wrong for believing and knowing what they know, when in all actuality we all grew up different. We've all been in different environments. We learn differently. So telling people that they're wrong for what they believe and what they've been brought up to know, you know, I just feel like there's better ways to go about it. We can agree to disagree, and that's totally fine, as long as you're respecting one another's, like, you know, backgrounds and boundaries and all those things, and leaving it open for conversation to understand one another's you know, like, background.
Right. I think this is a big one, honestly, and I feel like this is what honestly breaks people up and could be like a cause for divorce. When it comes to differences in religion and politics and all of that, like, man, oh man, like, it's like, it is such a touchy subject.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe this is more for heterosexual couples, but it's like, political things are political things. However, they make it so personal at times, you know? And yeah, it's just a touchy subject. I feel like
I think COVID broke a lot of people.
It really did. And honestly, it's for the best. It's for the best, because now we really got to know who you really are.
I was seeing something that said COVID probably broke up a lot of relationships because people really didn't spend that much time with their partner to actually know the type of person that they were. Whereas me and you met during like that just a little bit after COVID, and we actually spent a lot of at home time together. Like, we spent a lot of personal time together, and I think that's why I have attachment issues with you. And when you don't notice me, I'm like, this is what's wrong, what's going on. But a lot of people, I've heard, a lot of people just didn't make it because they were like, wow, I didn't really know that you were this person because I didn't have to be around you this much.
That too. And I feel like during COVID, just a lot of things were happening when it came to like Black Lives and like George Floyd and like
the vaccine. The
like,
vaccine was, it almost deaded me and her. Now, I won't say deaded, but I'm not a political person or none of that.
We don't have to talk about it.
So, babe, it's okay. We're still here. 2 years later, and we're still here. It's okay. But she just had her beliefs in the vaccine, and I didn't have a belief in anything because I don't get involved in those things. Unfortunately, I'm not that person.
But what do you mean when you say beliefs? Because I want you to clarify for the people listening.
What do you mean?
People had their different beliefs when it came to the vaccine.
Like people had the idea that the vaccine is necessary, and then you had the other side of people who thought it wasn't necessary at all. And you remember you having that conversation, and you weren't like with other people who weren't in agreement with that idea. Yeah. And it really, it was a big deal for you. And I could understand how it was.
It was a big deal for me because people died. Like let me clarify. People died. People lost husbands, wives, kids, parents, grandparents because of fucking COVID. And if a vaccine could have fixed that, you could have had that person back. So to me, it was kind of personal because I personally knew people who died, people's family members who had died because of COVID. So I'm just like, bro, if we could just fix this with the vaccine, why not just get it? That was my, mentality. And I might lose some people here, but I really don't give a fuck because that's my belief.
Right.
But
also, it's different because for a standpoint of you're not really at like a good health advantage.
Right. Like my health issues are through the roof. So to me, I had to get the fucking vaccine. Yeah. And not only that, we had vacation plans, and it was like, oh, you have to be vaccinated. Then we're gonna get vaccinated because who the fuck?
I'm not staying here. You're not about
to tell me that we can't go because of this stupid vaccine, right? And I mean, now, 2 years later, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. Like, it's not mandatory. It's not mandated. If you don't have it, that's cool. I don't care. Like, we're past that. But at that point in our lives where it's like, I was so sick of being indoors for so long, and like I was depressed. Yeah. And I was just like, COVID was not fun for me at all. And I know it wasn't fun for you either. So to me, I was just like, bro, if we could just fix this and like we could go back, not to our normal lives because I didn't want to go back to the office, but it was like, if we could just go outside and fucking breathe and be around people and go to concerts and like do things and go to restaurants. Like I literally just wanted those experiences back.
I definitely think that it was semi-necessary. Not that it was necessary, but I think that within that time, it really brought to life and like perspective that wow, we take so much for granted.
So much.
The people that we surround ourselves with on a daily, fucking going to work or being able to eat out of home or to stay home. Like, I think that was a sense of time where it was just like, wow, it is nice to be home and to be like in my own space, but it's just like I miss like the interaction with the world. So I think that if there was anything we all should have got from that, is to be fucking grateful and show gratitude to the things that you have and that's accessible to you, because there are people who don't have this shit at all, regardless of whether COVID happened or not.
Right. And that's what also bothered me. It's like, I grew up in DR and they don't have as much resources. And during that time, with the vaccine, like the whole people not wanting to get vaccinated, it was like, for us, it was like a privilege that the fact that we had so many vaccines, just
you have
left
the
and right
to not take it,
right? And then in other countries, it's like, they don't even have enough, or they don't have vaccines, and I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, don't argue with me. Argue with your mom. Argue with your mother. The other one that I had that's a green flag is, as being part of the LGBTQ community, I think this is super important. Regardless if you don't get it or not, I think respecting people's pronouns is super important. Even if you mess up and then correct yourself, super important. So I feel like that would be a green flag. Like if you're on a date with someone, you tell them, actually, my pronouns are this and that. And they're like, oh, okay, my bad. Like, it'll take me some time to get used to it, but I respect it. And that's it. All about respect.
Yeah, you just have to. Yo, the internet is funny. Cause I really just be seeing all this shit, and I just be like, yeah, back to TikTok. I do feel like it seems I don't know. I've seen a TikTok again that
Mm-hmm.
was saying that, with the internet, we're just looking for validation. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's all that people on social media are about. Like we are looking for validation from other people. And I feel like that's because we don't get it from the people who already surround us.
Mm-hmm.
Um and we're all guilty of that. But I think like validating what your person is feeling is it matters. It
Mm-hmm.
matters and it goes a long way. It's not like you have to be like, oh, you're right, everything you say is right, like
Mm-hmm.
not in a negative way. You just have to think like, I hear you, because at the end of the day, even though we can feel similar things or we might connect on a way where it's like, okay, I understand that,
Mm-hmm.
you still don't know what that person is feeling. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can be sad, but she could be fucking depressed. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm to me, it's just coming off as sad. Like, oh, we went through the same thing. Why is it affecting you more than me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I just feel like understanding one another and like being, um, you know, I don't want to fuck it up, but like, I can't say the word.
What?
Just like having that sense of like,
Mm-hmm.
not care, but like,
Like empathy?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for people and what they feel and what they go through, and
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes they do need validation to know that like I'm not crazy. Like what I'm
Yeah.
feeling is, it's like it makes sense, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
a thing. So I do feel that.
Yeah.
Um, Another green flag I have so many, and I'm just picking out again ones that I feel like are just hold a lot more weight.
Mm-hmm.
So reassuring.
Mm-hmm.
Reassuring. I feel like, you know, we just need some reassurance in life sometimes
Mm-hmm.
with the people, again, who surround us. I hate to say it, not saying that everything the people who surround you needs to have a hold on you or has to matter so much. Because I don't give a fuck about people's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that when it comes to the people closest to you, having that sense of reassurance,
Mm-hmm.
especially with your partner, it just, it's like a side note, I feel like, to be like, yeah, I still love you, or yes, I still think you're beautiful, or yes, like
Yeah.
all the good things, because I feel like we again get so wrapped up in all the negativity that consumes us in our daily life. Like
Mm-hmm.
if it's not the stress, it's somebody that we're working with, or
Mm-hmm.
just people having a bad day, and we're all just exchanging this negative energy that
Mm-hmm.
nobody's like, you know what, let me stop that energy train right here and
Mm-hmm.
put out some positive shit.
Yeah.
So I think for me, a sense of reassurance with the people closest to me, that's just like, hey, you good? Like I'm here, I love you, I
Mm-hmm.
miss you, all the good things, really just kind of like puts a little pep in my step, keeps me going. It's just like, oh, you missed
Yeah.
me? Oh, you think of me that way?
Yeah.
Thank you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we have to matter to somebody. I just feel like, because again, that you go in other places seeking
Mm-hmm.
validation and attention, when it's like, why do I have to go to such great lengths to get that when I should be getting it here at home?
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
I agree.
Okay. Do you have one last one you want to share? Oh,
Mm-mm.
you're done up. That's it?
Mhm.
Wow. You can use my list. There's so
Mhm.
much.
No, it's fine. I feel like there's so many green flags that it's just like everyone has their, like, I guess, personal list of things that are must-haves,
Right.
you
I
know?
agree. Well, my last one is someone who's motivated. I
Mm-hmm.
told you I still got a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
someone who is motivated. You don't have to have a six-figure salary. You don't have to have a career already. You don't have to have everything planned and or be established. You just
Mm-hmm.
have to have that sense of motivation to do something with, yourself,
Right.
And I think like setting those mini goals and like
Mm-hmm.
just seeing your life going places is just, it really goes a long way. And then I feel like, you don't,
Mm-hmm.
you just see a person in a different light, because I feel like we also bounce off each other, like with everything,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like you're motivated to do that and I see you doing the necessary steps. I am
Yeah.
too,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's a turn on. And I think with that, I guess another green flag would be like someone who is motivated and like doesn't make you their first priority.
Yeah.
It's like if you have other things planned already, like cool, like that's fine. Like I feel like people who always put you like let's say you're like, oh, let's hang out today, and they already have plans with their friend, and they're like, oh, I'll cancel with my friend. It's like, no, girl, like keep your
That's
plans.
fine.
Like
There's
don't
another day.
right, like that. No, it's more attractive if you're like, I have plans with my friends today, but we could chill on this day if you're free. Like switch it up a little bit, but don't try to cancel your shit because they asked you out. Like I don't know, there's something about someone who does other things, like has hobbies, goes to school, works, that is like attractive.
That's actually one of the things that I have is
Hmm.
like someone who makes time to spend with themselves.
Right.
And that goes along with like what you were saying, like doing the things that pour back into you,
Hmm.
that fulfill you, because we're all guilty of doing the things that are going to make people see us in a better light, where they're like, oh, I can count on that person.
Yeah.
And I was watching a podcast today hearing
Hmm.
that too, where it's just like we're just being that sense of people pleasing. We want to take
Yeah.
care of people, especially as women. um I was watching the one with Shan Boodram or
Hmm.
whatever and Lauren whatever, and Lauren was basically saying that, especially as women in our culture, as
Hmm.
we just have that sense of caring, like,
Yeah.
and taking care of like our family or like the men in your life and stuff, like
Hmm.
that we don't think about ourselves.
Yeah.
To us it's just like, oh well, as long if they're good then I'm good.
Yeah.
But it's like, are we really good? We don't
Yeah.
really pour into ourselves. So
Hmm.
pour into yourself, little lady.
Hmm.
That's about it for our personal green flags, y'all. All right, so we're gonna get to this family meme real quick, y'all. I caught my girlfriend sexting another girl. She denied the situation and continued with excuses to back her shit up. Should I forgive her and make our relationship work? We've only been together for a year, but we are serious and extremely close.
I don't know.
Yeah. You know, I feel like in the first year,
I would cut her off.
I feel like in the first year you're bound to hit, the highs and lows, the bumps and
I feel like it's
bumps.
too early for that.
Yeah and no, because come on, what's to say it's really too early to have shit happening? You would rather it happen years down the line?
No, but it's like if this is happening now, what's gonna happen in
But
5
I also
years?
feel like, huh?
Like what's gonna happen in 5 years?
No, not the same. Because I feel like sometimes people
So if
who,
I was texting a girl, you would forgive me?
like right now,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be super tight. I'd be super tight. I might want to fight the shorty and
Hmm.
you. But it really, I mean, I think it would be harder for me to just be like, fuck you,
Hmm.
we done.
Yeah, that's because we live together.
No, I can go stay at my mom's. That
It's
is not a problem. Physically getting up and leaving is not the problem.
uh-huh.
It is the emotional situation for me that I just can't.
Hmm.
That's hard for me. I can say that that's hard
Hmm.
for me to kick that, because
Yeah.
it's like I'm gonna hate you in the moment, but it doesn't change the fact that I love you.
Yeah.
So I'm a little more. It's harder for me to just
Hmm.
let that go. But um, I'm not saying it's not wrong. It's fucked up. But I'm also saying, like, in the beginning, people, you know, they run their mistakes,
Yeah, but it's
and
like she
then
said she denied the situation and continued with the excuses to back her shit up. Bro, there's receipts and you're still lying. Be truthful. Like
yeah, I think
just
that's
come
dumb.
up front with it. Like that's also a problem. The fact that you can't own up to your mistakes.
You're belittling the
Like,
situation.
don't gaslight me.
Okay, so in that instance, though, yeah, like I'm finna rip you. But if you're taking fucking responsibility and you're like, all right, like that's fucked up. I fucked up. I don't want to do that again, type shit. There's people who just take accountability, is my point. And sometimes people don't always need the fucking foot in the ass off the rip. But this is, quite the sticky situation. So if she's denying it, obviously she's just I feel like you're gonna be put in situations where you're always gonna be like the crazy one, and it's like you're tripping off of nothing. But a year's a long time, but not long enough.
Yeah. We can't tell you what to do though.
Yeah. But feel free to give her a dose of her own medicine.
And then that becomes toxic.
Yeah,
it's like,
but
what is this?
listen,
Tit for tat? No. No.
We're
Just
not all
her.
gonna be. Listen, we can't be healthy with everybody.
I know, but it's like, why?
Sometimes people really bring out the fucking monster in you.
But it's like, why do that? Because then that puts you in the same level as them. Like
sometimes
you're
people
stooping down to their level.
Me personally, I feel like people have been testing my fucking waters, and I am the like most. I'm just gonna let it go. I am not. I don't want to create any more fuckery, or I'm not into the confrontational bullshit. That's what you want to do. You can slide. That's fine. It's gonna be a little hard for me, but go ahead. At the end of the day, I have had people test my fucking limits, and I'm like, oh, bitches want me to be petty. Like, it's in me. I know I can fucking do it. I just haven't given that energy, because I feel like, you know what, you're not even worth that energy for me to give that. But I do think that some people need to fucking see it. I do think that some people need a dose of their own medicine, because they get away with it. They do it because they get away with it.
But guess what?
Nobody put them in their place.
They don't care.
I'm just saying.
They don't care enough.
Some people need to get their feelings hurt.
And you hurt their feelings by cutting them off and never talking to them again.
That works too.
Peace.
She be acting like she don't be grinding motherfuckers up.
Yeah.
She would probably burn everything in this motherfucking house. She would demolish me. She would demolish me before she even block me and leave. She'll do all that shit and then block me and leave.
Duh.
Fuck out of here.
All right, next question. How do I get over the fear of approaching my crush? She works in the same plaza as me. She's so beautiful. I just get so nervous. Please help.
Girl. Wait, you work in the mall. You better tell her, let's go to the food court. You gotta go up to her and be like, hey, you know, I mean, unless she work in the food court, then I don't know. You'll be like, oh, you know, what time's your break? Because I could wait for you.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you like that? Okay. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I was never really good at really talking to my crushes. I always was like,
well, maybe one of our last episodes could help, where we talk about dating tips.
Yeah.
You just gotta start a conversation, honestly. Once you start a conversation, then it's like talking to a friend. And then next thing you know, y'all getting lunch together.
Yeah, I feel like if you're working in the like you said, you're in the same plaza. I mean, if you really see each other and like I'm peeping you, peeping me, it's just like, what's up? Like, I see you here a lot. You know, clearly you work there. You need some friends. We can be friends. We can be friends. Play pretend. That we girlfriends too. Nah, I'm talking shit. Yeah, yo, just talk to her. I know it seems so hard, but it don't gotta be.
Right.
It just don't gotta be. Like I said, you're working in the same environment. You know what it's like to be working in that environment. Like there's ways to have conversations off, you know, mutual things. So just be bold, you know. It don't gotta be nothing crazy. You don't gotta say no nutty buddy shit. Just a hi will go. It could go a long way. Anything else? That's it.
Nope. Listen to our dating tips episode.
Yep. All right, y'all. This has been fun. Hope you like what you heard.
Yep.
Go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. All that good shit you heard. I know.
Bye.
Deuce, mother goose.